welcome everyone here. We're going to get started in a little bit. Grant is from Nebraska. Awesome. Have a friend out there. Beautiful farmland country, right? Like I mentioned earlier, I'm from Colorado and I'm loving the color up in the mountains. It's just so glorious. All right. Just about 2 more minutes, let a few more people join, and then we'll officially get started. So if you're just popping in now, let us know where you're joining from. Yeah, we don't keep the video on for anyone else. We just do the chat as a way to keep things really clean and keep things going the way they need to go. Awesome. So yep, you guys will be able to hear me and be able to use the chat to let me know where you guys are at. Lyle from Utah. Awesome. Lived in Utah for 3 years during school. Husband went to flight school in Provo. Jesse, gotcha. Yeah. All right. Lyle, Ogden. Awesome. You're in Ogden. Yep. Kristen, Somerville, South Carolina, I'm guessing. Yeah, I really need to go back and take my US geography and brush up on all of the acronyms. He's not in the Air Force. He teaches the Air Force pilots how to fly, though. So he's like a government contractor. Yeah. You did flight school in Ogden? Sweet. That's so cool, Lyle. Dave, another Vancouver, Canada. So many. And Jesse, your Navy pilot. Very cool. That's intense stuff. We're going to talk a little bit about flight plans today and how they apply to marriage. So that's going to be fun. Awesome. Awesome. All right. It's time for me to lock my door, tell my kiddos to stay downstairs, and then we'll get started. All right. Wow. Super Hornets. Yeah. Sweet. That's awesome, Jesse. And Lyle, you're an airline pilot. Cool. Got some pilots, got some Canadians. Anyone here from the UK? Anyone from Australia, New Zealand? We're an international marriage coaching company, so we do have clients from all around the world, which is super fun. And I love being able to, I love to travel. I love to see different perspectives in life. So I think it's really neat when we come together and find what things are common, and as well as like celebrate the differences too, right? All right, we are here now at 10:30. So welcome everyone officially to our masterclass. Stop these 5 spooky mistakes so you can save your marriage by Christmas. Let me get my video on if I can. There we go. Hey everyone, sorry it was a little bright at first. My name is Heather Choate and I'm super excited and grateful to be here with you today. My team and I have been working really hard to bring this masterclass to you. I think that the slides are top notch. My designer Angelica did a fabulous job on them and really captured a fun spin on a really challenging situation. I love Halloween. My oldest son, Benjamin, he's 15, is born on Halloween. So it's always a big deal at our house. And I really like to make it playful. So this is going to be a fun, playful way to talk about something really serious. But the bottom line is we're here to help you get some results. Okay. So it's going to be a little different. It's going to be a little fun, a little playful. But at the end of the day, what really matters is that you're able to see some transformation and results in your marriage. Sound good? So 5 spooky mistakes so you save your marriage by Christmas. That's a bold promise. How can I stand by such a bold promise? Well, you may know us, you may have never heard of us before, but here at High Thrive Coaching, we've been doing this a good amount of time, and we've helped tens of thousands of couples now all around the world to save their marriage. And so I can stand by that statement right there with assurance that more often than not, it is going to be possible. So that's what we're going to do today, is go into and see what is possible for you in your marriage. All right. Now, I want this to be a very interactive experience, as always, with our master classes. It's not just about information, it's truly about transformation. Okay. And the best way to make it a very interactive experience is please use the chat. I'm going to be watching the chat. I'm going to have Coach Linda on here in a little bit. She's going to be helping with the chat, and that will give us feedback on where you're really at, what your questions are, what your struggles are, so that we can make sure that you're able to move forward and have, where you're cuddling with your spouse on Christmas morning by the fireplace. So idyllic, so cheesy, so cliche, and yet so awesome, right? So let's dive into it. So it's a little spooky, right? How little people know about what makes relationships really work. And you're going to see a lot of really silly, funny, maybe funny, I don't know, but they're going to be silly and cheesy Halloween puns. So forgive me, but I just can't help myself. So if you're divorced friends, family members, and TV drama shows are your points of reference to have a healthy relationship, then you're definitely looking in the wrong place, right? Oh yeah. So let me know, what is your situation? I'm going to have a poll launched here in just a minute, and I want you guys to weigh in on what you are experiencing right now in your relationship. Maybe you already have a divorce filed. Maybe your spouse is talking to a lawyer. Maybe they already have papers in the works. Maybe they've already filed for divorce or threatens divorce, and you want to know what to do to stop it and get them back for good. All right, I'm going to launch this poll here. Let's see, couple 2 or B would be no trust or affairs, which is a really spooky situation, right? They're having an affair, they've had multiple affairs, or there are major trust issues, maybe not an affair, but maybe major trust issues other than that. And you want to heal the damage so that you can have trust between you again, okay? And then the third one would be communication. Couple C, they ignore you, they block you, they just won't open up. Maybe they're turning everything into a fight. And you want to know how to open up communication, how to have some respect, and to build some connection. Jesse says, mine is all 3, can't really pick one. Terry recently separated, no peppers, no papers yet. Still very close, affairs taking place. Okay, so I've got the poll here. Thank you guys for weighing in. I'm seeing about 24% of you are couple A, divorce issues. 52% are in affairs. Okay, so I'll go deeper into that today. And then about 26% of you are dealing with communication. A weird thing, last week, when I did a different masterclass, I did a similar thing. I asked people what was going on, and there was no affairs. There was 0. I'd never seen that before. So today, we've got about half of you dealing with affairs or major trust issues. So let's go into that. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that all with me. I'm going to see how I can end the poll. How do I end it? I just minimized it. Where'd it go? Poll ended. Okay, so there's the results. Okay, there we go. And now we're done. All right. All right, so as a thank you for coming today, I have a brand new guide that we've never given as a huge training that we just barely put together. And we'd normally charge like $47 for this, but it's my gift to you as, you know, a thank you for coming today. And you guys are the action takers. I know how much your relationship means to you, and that says something really special about you. And I want to reward that. So we have a guide here: heal resentment wounds in your marriage, how to let go of past pain, how to help your partner forgive you, how to forgive if you don't feel like you can really let things go. And so this is a super powerful guide. Diego, if you can go ahead and put the link over in the chat, everyone can go ahead and grab that. You just go ahead and fill out this quick form, and we'll email or text it to you, and you can use it right away so that you can let some of this past pain go, because that's a huge roadblock, and we'll talk about why, right? You guys know us, you're familiar with our path process that no one else is talking about, and uncovering why they have this resentment or why they're not really able to forgive, or for you to be able to forgive and let go, is a huge obstacle that we need to overcome. So this is a great guide to help you do that right away. All right. All right. So after working with tens of thousands of couples, we've uncovered some truly terrifying mistakes people make when their spouse wants out. Yeah, can we put the link over there? Yep. I see you guys asking for the link. Yeah, Diego, go ahead and grab it, because I don't want to navigate away from here right now. So we have a team here. Yeah, no link posted. I gotcha. No worries. We'll get it to you. Go ahead and grab it. No, it's from John. John just made a brand new one. So go ahead and get a hold of John and get the link for us. Sorry, I thought that we had that all squared away, but we'll definitely make sure we get it to you. Worst case is I have all of your emails because you registered, and so we'll just email it to you and get that to you. Got it? All right. Sorry about that. A little team miscommunication there. So go ahead and grab the right link and then post it there. And if we aren't able to grab it for you guys in the masterclass, then we'll definitely make sure that we email it to you, because I want to make sure you guys get that. All right. So there's some really common mistakes, and you're here because you're one of the people that wants to save your marriage. And I talk to you guys on Facebook. I talk to you over on Zoom, I meet with you guys in master classes, and I know how much you really want this to work and how desperately you're working to try to save things or turn things around, and how often super well-meaning people are making really bad mistakes and they don't even realize it. And so I want to show you today how you might be making one of these and you're not even aware of it, which is kind of scary, I know. But the good news is that once you're aware that, yeah, I am making one of these mistakes, then you can course correct and do something different about it. And that's what we're here to help you do. And I'll be the first to raise my hand and say, I've made almost every single one of these mistakes. I've personally been married almost 16 years with my husband, Ben. We have 8 children together. Yeah, you heard me right. That's 8. And we've definitely seen our share of marriage struggles. And I've made all of these mistakes myself. So I know what it's like to have the dark night of the soul. I know what it's like to lose sleep week after week after week, and to wonder if your marriage is even ever going to be what you hoped it would be. So not only what mistakes we're making, but what to do instead so that you can turn this around and have a happy marriage by Christmas. Now, I also want to welcome our coach, Linda, just joined us. Linda is a fabulous, fabulous coach. She'll be helping out in the chat. So if you have any questions, she will be able to help answer them in case I can't get to everyone live, since we do have a big group here. Okay. All right. So the bottom line here is that we stop doing what doesn't work and start doing what works instead. And guess what? It's probably not what you think. So you can save your marriage by Christmas and be happy kissing underneath the mistletoe. All right. And if you don't celebrate Christmas, paint whatever, idyllic picture scene that you want by the new year. It's watching the fireworks and passionately embracing each other and kissing, feeling like you're so in love and feel so safe and secure that everything is well in your relationship. And no, you haven't heard what I'm going to share with you from your pastor, your therapist, self-help books, or your favorite YouTuber. I know that's where we all go to when our marriage is struggling. And the reason why you haven't heard this is because no one else even knows about it. Okay, it's kind of top secret. We're the only ones that are even teaching this. Oh, that's an awful graphic. Oh, I don't like zombies. Okay. So our first mistake is the zombie bride Frankenstein husband. No more zombie brides, no more Frankenstein husbands. In other words, if your spouse won't work on it, the belief that there's nothing I can do. Raise your hand if you've ever thought that or felt that, right? So it's almost scary how short most marriages last. Hey, Sergio, good to see you. Can you guess how long the average marriage lasts? Yeah, 5 of you guys raise your hand. Yeah, you felt that too, right? So let me know in the chat. I want you guys to take a stab at it. How long does the average marriage last? 7 years, Tim says. Weigh in, let me know. Is it less than 20 years, less than 10 years, less than 2 years? Carrie says 15, Terry 7, Dave 6. I don't even know. 5, 8 years, Kristen, 12 years, Victor, Bradley, 5, 2 to 5, 6 to 12, 5, 5, 5, less than 10, 5, 6. Okay. So is it less than 10 years? Yes, you're right. All of you that said that. The average marriage lasts only 8 years. Yeah, Carrie says, boo. I love it. That is pretty sad, right? It's sad. Only 8 years. So if you've been married longer than that, you are defying the statistics. I've been married almost 16 years, like I said. And so that's a good start, right? All right, now I want you guys to guess the average marriage of our clients, right? It's 20 years to a lifetime, or whichever one comes first. Whichever one comes first, right? And so, 20 years to a lifetime is what we're seeing. People are able to have their marriage go a healthy, good amount of time. So why is there such a difference there? How are our clients, so above the average of the cultural norm? So do you guys want to hear it from some of our clients in their own words? And I want to see if you guys can pick up on what makes the difference, okay? As a little exercise, we're doing this live. See if you can tell what makes the difference, okay? There's some commonalities, and I want to see if you can pick up on them. All right, this one comes from Monica. When he wants to work on our relationship marriage. We both agree we have a long road ahead of us to repair and grow from what brought us to the brink of divorce. I am hopeful for our future and grateful for the guidance and mindset help I've gotten through this course so far. This is the first time since last January that my husband has made any declaration that he's willing to try. When Monica first came to us, her husband wasn't willing to work on the marriage at all. No therapy, no counseling, no working on it, no ending the affair, nothing. Does that sound familiar? All right. How do you think he came so far? Okay. Let us know. So Silas's wife was leaving him for a man 10 years younger than him. He tried counseling for 3 years with her, but she kept slipping away further from him. All right. And let's read this here and see if we can catch the crucial difference. So Silas was one of my, I shouldn't have favorite clients or favorite kids, but sometimes we just do. Silas is a born country boy. Oh my goodness, his accent is adorable. I can't do the country, Texas twang, but if you could insert that into this, then please do. He says, I'm a born skeptic. Save my marriage on my own. When I first saw your ad and read your emails, I thought, yeah, right. Country accent, right? Well, happy to say I was wrong. I learned that you can't get what you want from doubt. Fear was keeping me back from everything I wanted. I took a leap of faith. That leap has brought my wife back to me. She moved back in on Thursday. Pretty big stinking win. Thanks, y'all. All right. Did you catch the crucial difference that helped his wife leave the other man and want to move back home with him again? Okay. Carrie says, give him some space to breathe. Take off the pressure. Ooh, Carrie. By the way, Silas and his wife are one of the happiest couples you've ever met. Like, they're so stinking cute. And they're not just on the outside. Like, sometimes we can fake it and everyone can think that everything's great in our lives. And underneath, everything is completely rotten. And that's not the case with Silas anymore. They're truly, happy inside, and their kids are so happy. He's got a son that writes me emails once in a while, and it's just so grateful and it makes me get teary. I don't want to get teary. So it makes me get teary, though, to see the impact that it has, the ripple effect, not just in their lives, but their children's lives, and that their sweet little son emails me and says, thank you for helping my parents. And thank you for doing what needed to be done to help my family. It's adorable. All right, Carlos, huge win. She drove an hour to come see me and tell me that she loves me. And we will all live under one roof again. God works in mysterious ways. We are still going back to work on both of us being better people, but I am ecstatic. I have my best friend back. And so here's Carlos. How do you think he got his best friend back? So did you guys catch the commonality with all of these, with these three? Okay. It's true of 90% of the clients we work with. It's true of probably 90% of you guys that are here right now. Let me know. So we've got don't beg, be confident, work on yourself, Victor. Okay. Yep. Space, Chad says. Carrie, give him space to breathe, take the pressure off. Home messages. Lou, you are a rock star. You're listening to Mark. Carrie, did she back off? Yes. Awesome. Don't push them so far, Kristen. Oh, beautiful. Okay. You guys are awesome. Yes. So here it is. They were not spooked away from their zombie bride or their Frankenstein husband. In other words, they were willing to work on the marriage first, and they didn't wait for their spouse to get on board. That's the first spooky mistake most people make. Others told them, even counselors, coaches, pastors, that there's just no hope. Your friends are telling you there's just no hope. Your mom's telling you, you just got to move on, honey. There's nothing you can do. He's not willing to work on it with you. Get over it. And you're like, no, there's something inside of me that says I need to do this, and I'm willing to do it, even if my spouse isn't willing to work on it with me at first. So they found hope by learning to do what works to get your spouse to come back, even if they're already checked out. Okay. And so
opportunity to share.
I want to be able to share here. This is a older video. You can tell right after cancer, my hair is growing back. And this is with our client, Tina. And she has a powerful story about working on the marriage, even when her spouse wasn't willing to do it with her. All right, let's hear it from Tina.
Your story a little bit and help some other people out. So if you would just start off, Tina, telling us a little bit about what your marriage was like before you started working with us. What were things like in your marriage?
Well, for me, it always felt like I was being put last and that I didn't get to see him very often, that, you know, other things came before me and the family. It felt like he was running away from me. And that hurt because, you know, you don't want people to run away from you when you want to be close to them. And so I didn't feel close to him. We could lie next to each other and we were a million miles apart. It wouldn't matter even if we were a million miles apart. You know, it felt that way even in the same room.
So what would you say things are like now that you've been working with us for a while? How would you describe your marriage currently?
We definitely want to spend time together again. And that hasn't happened in a while because, you know, it was him running away and trying to find other things to do that weren't with me. And now we want to do things together. We look for things to do together and to spend time together. And it doesn't matter what it is, as long as we get to do it together. You can do it by yourself. You can change. And in you changing, other things can change too. But it has to be you. You can't change anything else but yourself. And it takes time, it takes effort, but it's possible. Things can change and things can get better. And you also need a little bit of guidance. If you don't know where you're going, you can't get there. Well, you need someone. Oh, yeah. I am just so grateful that I was able to find something that has helped me so much to see myself in a different light, you know, as a different person, as someone who is deserving of to love myself, and that I can make a difference in so many little ways, and that I can have courage to change things, and that it can be done just by me.
I love that. So raise your hand if you guys agree. And I believe this, that the loneliest place to be is lying right next to your spouse, 2 feet away and feeling like you're worlds apart. That is the loneliest place to be. And I do not want you to be there anymore. You don't have to be there anymore. But it only works when you really do what Tina said here. She says, if you don't know where you're going, then you can never get there. So I really want you guys to take some time right now and determine where you really want to be. Where do you want to be 3 months from now, by Christmas, by New Year's? Where do you really want your marriage to be a year from now, 10 years from now? How would that feel? What would the look on their face be? And how would it feel to come home and feel like everything's safe? And what would you talk about at dinner? How would you embrace each other? What would the feeling be as you lie down to go to sleep at night? How great would it feel to know that they are committed to you, that they want to be with you, that they've ended the affair, that all the trust issues are gone, and you both feel safe and secure? How great would that feel? So like she said, you can't get somewhere if you don't know where you're going. And I know we've got a couple pilots here, and my husband's a pilot as well. And when you have a pilot, you know, and they're choosing where they're going to go, they always pick a destination on the map. And then they chart their flight plan, right? They plan where they're going, the weight and balance, how heavy everything is going to be, how much fuel they need. They look at the weather, and then they do the whole thing. And what I've learned that when a pilot gets up in the air is that 99% of the time, they're actually off course, which I thought was really weird, right? Yeah, your son's a pilot, Linda. Awesome. Flying United. So Coach Linda here has a pilot son. I didn't even know that, Linda. That's cool. And so how do they ever get where they want to go if 99% of the time they're actually off course? And what I've learned that they do, and we've got a fighter pilot here, which is super cool, is they make these little course corrections. Here a little bit, there a little bit. The wind blows you off course a little bit, and you have to course correct, or autopilot course corrects. And they're constantly making these course corrections. Sometimes they have to make really big course corrections. You know, like my husband was flying back over Kansas this summer, and there were tornadoes, and he had to divert 3 hours out of the way to avoid the tornadoes. which was super scary for me. But, it's what they need to do. Or sometimes, military is coming through and they have to go around. Air traffic tells you got to go around again. And so in life, you decide where you want to go. You decide your destination. You guys are talking about Grant, all I want is my wife to look at me with love in her eyes. Ash, to re-earn her trust and renew her faith in us. That sounds amazing. Yes. Ash, to celebrate Christmas as husband and wife would be incredible. So really think about where you guys want to go. If you don't choose where you want to go, then who will? Who will? Is your wife going to choose it for you? Is your husband going to choose it for you? They already have their own plans. And if they're checked out and not willing to work on things, then that doesn't leave you with much, right? Is your mom going to choose it for you? As much as she loves you, she can't do it for you. Only you can choose where you're going to go. But so often, so many of us feel like victims and we get lost in life and we just let life kind of happen to us. And that is not going to steer you anywhere. And so you guys choose where you want to go. You pick your destination. And just like the pilot picks their destination, we will help you make those course corrections so that you can arrive at that destination. All right. Melissa, I want my husband to give the marriage a chance and to come home to his family. Jessica, I want us to be back in the same house again, laughing with divorce off the table once and for all. Kellen, I believe, to have her make first contact, not always be the follow on with contact. Yeah. Lou, just to have your girls back. Have my husband come home and be a family again. That is beautiful. So you guys are doing exactly what Tina did here. She said, this is hard, but this is what I want to do. And I know that I can do it if I get the right guidance here. And we can help you get there too. I think that's a funny little mummy. All right, next mistake. Hocus pocus. Why your magic spells are falling flat. How many of us wish that we could just cast a magic spell on our spouse and poof, magical fairy tale, wishes come true, happily ever after, they just come back to us. The knight comes riding in on his white stallion and sweeps us off into the sunset, and everything is everything they ever promised us, and they honor their vows, and our kids are happy, and everything's just fairy tales, rainbows and roses, right? So sometimes we try to cast a magic spell, and we just kind of hope and wish that these things are going to work. And the most common ones that I see people doing is working on themselves. How many of us have heard that? How many of us have tried that? We're told to just work on yourself, as if improving ourselves, which is good for us, it is magically just going to change everything, right? Do it yourself, self-help books, YouTube videos, therapy, going to therapy. All of these things in and of themselves are good, but they are not the solution to save your marriage, okay? In and of themselves. Yes, it would be nice, Bradley, to have a magic bullet. Yes, and I wish I could give that to you. But I'm here to keep it real. I'm here for people that don't want a fairy tale. They want real results and a real relationship, right? So why don't these work? First of all, they're ineffective or they simply backfire. Now, for years, for about 8 years, I was trying to do that myself. And not only was it completely exhausting, but it was also completely ineffective. Yeah, I improved, which is always good for me, just like it's good for you. But my husband, he didn't seem to even care about any of the changes I was making. He didn't even see them. And if he saw them, he just didn't care. Sound familiar, right? In fact, he just continued to believe the negative story that he had about me. Then I learned that bottom line, working on myself just isn't the solution to saving my marriage. In and of itself, it's just not. What I needed to do and what we teach you to do that no one else is talking about. Oops, where did it go? I just lost my slide. I clicked too many times. There we go. Is to change the story that's going on inside of their head or their heart. Okay, this, like I said, no one else is talking about it. It's a little known process and it draws your spouse to you instead of hoping, praying, wishing, casting love spells that they'll come back, right? Even if they're wanting a divorce, even if they say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore, even if they're having an affair, it works without wasting years in therapy. Because if your spouse wants out, if they're pushing for divorce, if they say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, if they're having an affair, time is not on your side. And therapy can work if you've got like maybe 5 or 6 years. But if you don't have that kind of time, if they're wanting a divorce, you maybe have 3 months. If they're having an affair, you maybe have 6 to 9 months. If they say, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, at most you have a year. So you do not have time to waste, right? So working on yourself, going to therapy, do it yourself kind of methods, they simply don't provide the direction that you need for your situation. They're ineffective. Oftentimes you're just getting random bits of information. Like you read a self-help book and you're like, oh, that sounds really good. I'm going to do that love dare thing. I'm going to do that love language thing. And you have no idea if it's what's really needed in your situation or not. And they often backfire, or they just simply take too long to turn this around in the time needed to avoid divorce. So you won't need a witch's spell to have your spouse wanting to be with you again. We help you save your marriage in 6 months or less without wasting years in therapy and risking divorce. Okay.
How do you break the
Here's
silence?
how we helped Dwayne
How do
here.
you break the silence? How do you get that communication opened up?
Yeah, that's a really great question. And honestly, it's probably one of the hardest hurdles to overcome in this process because a lot of the things that we do are the wrong things to do. And then this is where High Thrive really helped me understand what I needed to do differently to change that communication. But breaking down the communication barriers, the big thing is you have to stop pushing. You cannot push, and just focus on you. Remove all expectations from your spouse, whether that's an expectation that they'll text you throughout the day or respond to your phone calls or all those things. You have to remove those expectations. And it's a really hard thing to do. And honestly, what I did to get through those periods, I started focusing on being grateful for other things because maybe my spouse wasn't making me feel grateful at the moment. Well, I made sure that I just focused on being grateful for my kids and those types of things to get through that changing my expectations language. And then, so the big focus then is changing yourself. Don't push them. Honestly, Heather, one thing that annoys me that I see in a lot of the group posts is someone saying, I text my ... And text message is such a poor communication tool. It is a quick and easy communication tool, but it's such a poor communication tool because 90% of our language is not the words we say. And we just eliminated 90% of the way we speak by sending a text message. And I had to do that myself. I had to stop sending text messages. When you stop pushing on your partner, then that's going to soften that communication stream. And you're not going to just blow through that communication barrier. You have to soften it. You have to break it down little bit by bit. Someone shared a post, I think like a month ago, about a guy who his wife died, where there was a town and it was on the other side of a mountain and it was like a 20-mile hike to get to the town. Well, after his wife died, he built a road. He tore the mountain down bit by bit. It took like 26 years to make that line. Well, that's how you have to view your communication, is you've got this mountain in front of you and just chip away. And that's where those positive interactions. Positive interaction can also be a not interaction. Think of it that way. Don't send a text message. That's a positive interaction because you did not push. So you just have to chip away bit by bit. One of the things that I did is with the same topic as Mark talks about the math of the 5 interactions to 1 interaction, positive to 1 negative. Most couples that stick together, they maintain that ratio. And then to rebuild your relationship, you need to do 10 to 1. So then I started making it a focus that I was going to do 100 positive interactions. Even if Katie didn't see that interaction, if it was a me not texting, I was going to do 100 interactions before I let a text message go or any of those types of things. So it's just chipping away at that bit by bit, positive interactions.
So in the path process, like we worked on with Dwayne here, we tell you and show you exactly how to respond to text messages, how to stop doing the things that are absolutely ineffective or backfiring, so that then your spouse feels safe enough to want to be around you again and looks for reasons to try to be around you more. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And so instead of doing what absolutely doesn't work, which is just hoping, wishing, catching casting magic spells or just throwing stuff at the wall and hoping something sticks. We'll show you exactly how to get from where you are to what the very next step is to get you where you need to be, that result that you guys said you want to get to. All right, so our third mistake here, don't let your spouse ghost your marriage this Halloween. How many of you feel like you're being a little ghosted right now, right? It's a good play on words, right? Yeah, we got 8 of you raising your hand, 9 of you, all right. So here, what we're doing is demanding that they work on it with us. And a lot of you talked about how at the beginning, you guys saw that those clients all had spouses that weren't willing to work on it with them, were pretty checked out, didn't want to like fall back in love. And the worst mistake that you can make is demanding that they work on it with you. This is something we do not want to do because it's only going to push our spouse further away. So imagine you come home. Maybe some of this is just like your reality right now. Your spouse is icy, they're withdrawn. You try to reach out to them, but you just get short, blunt responses. It feels like talking to a tombstone would be a warmer experience. The sound is gone. Did you guys lose my sound? I just saw a comment there. Let me know. That would be silly if my sound was gone. You guys hear me okay? Okay, I'm back. All good. All right, thank you. So what do most people do in this situation, right? When their spouse is icy, cold, withdrawn, either they give up, they think there's nothing I can do, or they push their spouse to work on the marriage with them. We say, you need to change. You need to end the affair. You need to honor your marriage vows. You need to do this for the kids. You need to do whatever so that I can feel better about this, right? Which of these might you be doing? Demanding that your spouse work on it with you. Yeah, Kristen says, yep, did that. Terry says, guilty. Manipulating. I'm going to take the kids. I'm not going to tell you where they are. I'm going to ruin your credit. I'm going to, wreck you financially. I'm going to take all your assets. I'm going to have an affair with whoever I want to be with if you do that, right? All these different things. I'm not going to come home if you don't come home, right? The begging, how many are begging? Please come back to me. Please don't do this. Please, 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 please. I'm begging you. Please give me another chance, right? Yeah, I've got a lot of hands raised. And what happens? Do any of these things work? You might have a huge aha moment right now. Grant says, yep, begged way too much. Yeah, Chad, learning not to, it's getting better. All of these will only push your spouse further away from you, and they will ghost you. Like Christian said, did not work. Yeah, aha, Terry, awesome. Huge aha moment, right? Sometimes we don't realize that we're doing some of these things and it's only going to backfire, like Christian says, and not work. So we will show you how to call off the pursuit, respect their decision to withdraw and their need for space. Spouses that withdraw or become cold respond best when given time and breathing room. And they feel smothered if you hover over them or demand they come closer to you. As you lower your intensity and the tension, right, and seek to understand how you can help them and meet their needs, they will feel safer with you and more willing to open up. Now that is a hard thing to do by yourself. It just is. That's why we're here to help you do that. And like Alan said, help you make that transition. What helped him was applying immense amounts of gratitude, and gratitude's always really healing. But if you're feeling stuck on this, don't worry, we've got your back. Just do exactly what we tell you to do and it will work. Second, reduce the tension. If it's feeling really tense, really strained, maybe it's angry, maybe it's volatile, maybe it's cold, maybe it's distant, maybe it's apathetic. Anything along that spectrum is tension, and tension does not feel safe. Tension repels romance. I just made that up. It's true. I think I'm going to put that in quotes. Tension repels romance. They cannot fall back in love with you if there's a lot of tension going on. And then increase understanding. You increase understanding, they will feel safer and safer to open up to you. And we can show you exactly how to do that and how to do that with your spouse so your efforts don't keep backfiring, and they'll actually start warming up to you in about 3 weeks. So imagine about 2 or 3 weeks from now, your spouse is going to warm up to you. You're not done. Your marriage isn't saved in 3 weeks, but they're going to start to warm up to you. You're going to feel this defense mechanisms reducing. They're actually going to want to talk to you about things again. And how good would that feel? Let me know. Let us know over there. Jose says, for anyone wondering if you should join the coaching program, do it. 2 months in, and my wife now communicates with me like when things were good. And she has opened up on what caused her to pull away. She's noticed the changes I've made and is starting to pull me in instead of distancing herself like she had been. It's amazing to see how fast it turned around from her saying she loves me but is not in love with me. Oh my goodness, so many of us have heard that, right? To now be flirtatious. And she stops just short of saying, glad I found this program. That's awesome, right? How would you love to be there? All right, we're not done yet. 4th mistake, why you may be unintentionally creeping out your spouse, okay? My daughter loves tarantulas, and there's a lot here in Southern Colorado, and so I'm really praying that she doesn't find one this Halloween. Side note, so trying to resolve deep issues too soon. I see this mistake happening a lot. Thanks, Linda. You liked my quote earlier. I like it too. And Chad, she's opening up more and had me stay at the house yesterday. Awesome. So you are nailing that third principle there. So how many of us feel like we want to resolve all the deep issues? We want to resolve why they're having the affair. We want to resolve all the painful things that we did and all the painful things that they did. And we're pushing to get these things resolved because after all, that's why they want out, right? So why does this not work? Well, here's the tricky thing. It may work, but more often than not, it may not work with where you're at right now. The temptation is to want to resolve everything, right? But the bottom line is, whoops, go back. What's with me and my clicking today? If your spouse has the creeps every time they're around you, you may be unintentionally creeping them out by trying to resolve deep issues too soon. It's a big mistake that a lot of people make when their spouses want out. And so, if you're wanting to try to talk and resolve issues about the affair, the betrayal, the major hurts, the addictions, the alcoholism, or any other unhealthy, destructive behavior, the bottom line is that more often than not, your relationship isn't strong enough to handle solving those deep issues. And it will cause what's left of the marriage to crumble. I kind of relate this to like a medical situation, right? If you have a brain tumor, but you're in cardiac arrest, is it time to go do surgery on the brain tumor? Is the patient going to survive surgery on the brain tumor if they're in cardiac arrest? No, they're not. And so your relationship would be better suited to work with us and gain some health and some strength to get kind of out of cardiac arrest and into stability, so that then you're in a healthy, more stable place to go in and resolve the deeper issues. So if you're pushing for deep issues to be resolved right now, and your spouse is saying, I love you, but I'm not in love with you, having an affair, wanting a divorce, separation, all of those things, your relationship's probably too fragile, and you need to build in some health and some stability. And we do that with you by doing a deep root assessment on your very first session with us, so that we can see exactly how healthy the relationship actually is and build up strength so that it becomes strong enough to resolve the root issues. Make sense? And here's where a lot of therapists just get it plain wrong. They think that let's go and talk about all the childhood wounds, let's talk about every deep issue. And if your relationship isn't strong enough, it will cause the rest of it to crumble. And that's not what I want for you, okay? Make a date with them, not a diagnosis. No one likes to be diagnosed by their spouse or told everything that's going on with them and what they need to do to change and fix it. Spending time in a really safe and comfortable way is going to go a lot further for you at this point. And open communication, so they want to talk with you, and eventually you can get to the point where you can talk about anything. Does that sound good? Is this making sense? I really hope that you listen to this one. I really hope that you are digging in here and like, oh my goodness, yeah, I have been trying to resolve these things. Maybe my relationship isn't ready for them. Maybe I need to take the pressure off and build up some health in the relationship so we can handle these things, okay? All right, got another client story here I'm gonna share with you, and then we'll keep going to mistake 5.
You online. I don't remember how. I was skeptical. I thought, yeah, this costs a little bit of money. You know what I mean? Like, do I really want to spend the money? And I thought to myself, wait a minute. My life, my marriage is that important to me that at this point, I'm like, I feel like I have to do whatever I can to help myself and to help my husband and to help us, because I didn't want to continue going down that path, you know. And I'm really grateful because, and the support materials, by the way, are really great too. You know, like you have those videos.
Well, thanks.
Yeah,
I like to think so.
It's very helpful. And, you know, I really feel through this program that I'm so much more empowered and more confident. And, you know, I mean, you can't control what other people do. Eventually, if he does say, oh, I want to leave, I don't think that's what he really wants. It's never what he really wanted. But I feel stronger now, you know? I feel like I have tools and I have knowledge that can help me move forward in this relationship. And I learned that all from Linda, really.
And Linda's here. She's an amazing coach. So awesome. Final mistake here: when your relationship gets mummified. We don't want a relationship to get mummified, right? That's the last thing, which is waiting too long to take action. And unfortunately, this happens a lot of times. And so if we wait too long, right, it becomes a nightmare, right? With your spouse, stopped cold in your tracks. You don't know what to do. You don't know what will work. So you freeze and you don't do anything. Or you get into analysis paralysis, trying to find the perfect way or the perfect program or the perfect whatever to save your marriage. But the bottom line is then it's too late because you've waited too long and now your relationship is mummified. You do not want to risk divorce. You cannot afford to wait. So if you want to be smooching your spouse underneath the mistletoe this Christmas instead of signing divorce papers, then we will help you save your marriage in less than 6 months, even if there's pulling away, so you can turn this nightmare into a happy ending. Not a fairy tale, but something you're happy with. Typically 6 months. I'm going to pull back the curtain a little bit, okay? It typically takes about 6 months. If you are having an affair, they're having an affair, multiple affairs, if there's restraining orders, if there's divorce papers, okay? About 6 months. 3 months or less for those that don't. 3 months for those that are in the friend stage or the I need to find myself or I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Typically, we see about 3 months or less. So that's just a little bit of a realistic expectation there. But again, we want to go in with you and find out exactly what's going on with your marriage and how, you know, the timeline is really going to look, because it's not a cookie cutter approach, right? All right. So we talked about that. Where do you guys want to be 3 months from now, 6 months from now, 5 years from now? How important is your relationship to you on a scale of 1 to 100? Let me know. Okay. I want to know. All right. Now, maybe you guys are saying, this all sounds great. I can see how I need to change my spouse's story. I can see how I need to take the pressure off, right? Chad wants to be together and happy. Eric says 100. Chad says 100. Grant says 95. Kristen 100, 120. Yeah. 95. Awesome. So I love that. That's honesty. 1,000, a bazillion. Awesome. Yeah, that's beautiful. But what if you're saying, you know, this sounds great, but I don't have money. It's too expensive. You know, I'm paying for 2 households. What if I have to provide for my kids myself? What if I have to do child support? Yeah, Chris says, oh my goodness, that's a huge, huge number, Chris. That's like a bazillion, gazillion, million. I have lots of kids. They love to make up numbers like that. All right. So, well, at this point, right, you know that you could try to do it yourself. You could try to do therapy, cheap options, or you could just give up at this point, right? And that's it. It's going to be ineffective. It's going to backfire. It's going to lead to divorce. Or we can show you how to save your marriage for less than the cost of attorney fees, less than the cost of paying for 2 households, for sure. That's a huge thing. And save you $30,000 on divorce costs. That's the average worldwide cost of divorce, whether you're in Canada, United States, doesn't matter, UK. I know you've got all of you here today. $30,000 is the average of cost of divorce. And so that's what you're looking at financially. So you've got to choose, like Cynthia did, you know, is this really important to me? Is it something I'm going to prioritize? Is it something I'm going to find a way to make it work? Because you guys choose that destination, we help you get there. And when you choose that destination, I can promise you there will be a way. I had a client from Alaska who sold, get this, sold his snowblower in Alaska so he could do this. And I'm not saying you have to make that drastic of a thing, but for him, he knew it was worth it. And he's so grateful he did, because snowblowers come and go, right? Money comes and goes. A marriage, a relationship A family doesn't just come and go. Agreed? All right. Maybe you're thinking, we've struggled so long, Heather. You don't realize how long we've struggled. We've hurt each other so much. There is so much pain here. I'm up against so much right now with my spouse. I'm not sure if it's possible. And just nothing has worked so far. How many of you guys feel like that? Raise your hand. Let me know in the chat. I get it. I have absolutely felt that way myself. It's like, is it too little too late? Is it even possible, right? We can help you save your marriage, even if everything you've done hasn't worked so far, even if it's hard to forgive or for them to forgive you, or you've had a hard time sticking to things in the past. Bottom line, guys, we've helped lots of imperfect people who haven't succeeded in the past get there. We're all imperfect. It's just choosing where we want to go and being as consistent as we can in the right actions to get there. You haven't known the right actions up until now, so give yourself some grace, but you can learn them. Just like Cynthia said, I feel like I have skills now. I feel like I have tools now. I have support now, and it's changed everything for her. So I want to ask you guys here, how good would it feel to replace the overwhelm? I'm so overwhelmed. I can't focus at work. I can barely sleep. I can't even think straight. I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much going on. It feels absolutely impossible. I have no idea where I'm going or what's going to happen. I have no idea what's going to happen if we get divorced. I have no idea if I'm going to be able to turn this around. I have no idea what my spouse is doing. Confusion. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no clue where I'm going. Fear and pain. Yeah, Terry says that's me. Chad says literally, right? How good would it feel to replace that overwhelm with clarity? I know where I'm going. I know what I want to have in my life. I know where I'm going and what kind of relationship I want to experience in this life. And I'm getting there a little more each day. The confusion with direction. I have the support. I have the tools. I have the help. The fear and the pain with a peace and a joy. My friends, we do not choose the challenges that come to us, but challenges come to all of us. What I know with every fiber of my soul is that these challenges come for a reason. They come to teach us something, to help us become better. And we can either become a victim to these challenges, we can play small, we can stay stuck, or we can move forward. Instead of just go through a challenge, we can grow through a challenge. We truly can. And we can look back and say, that was one of the hardest things, but I am so grateful for it because I became a better person because of it. And I was able to create the relationship that I really want to have. That is the gift that each of us have. Life is a really short thing and it's a really precious thing. So let's make the most of it. Let's choose where we want to go. And we will help you guys get there. I've said that enough, right? That is what having a coach on your side with the right method gives you. The right method that's going to get you results within just a few weeks from now. So I already asked you guys this, but on a scale of 1 to 100, how important is it to save your marriage, right? You guys said 1,000, you said a gazillion, you said 100. Really lean into that. It's your decision. This is your life. This is where you are going. Only you can choose it. I can't make you choose it as much as I would love to. Where do you want to be? Yeah, Windows says 100. All right, don't know your real name. Carry 100, 100, 100, Tim. Awesome. That is so awesome. The bad news though, okay, there is bad news. We only have a few spots open. We're a small team. Coach Linda here can attest to that. And we only have room for 8 clients at this time. There are several hundred people attending the masterclass that's going to see it now and see the replay too. And when spots are full, they're full, and you'll have to wait until there's an opening. We don't want you to wait and risk moving closer to divorce. Now, this is actually an outdated slide. Okay, this is actually 12. We actually opened up 12 today. We decided to open up just a few more, but it's going to be 12 for the Halloween special edition here, which actually opens tomorrow. But you guys have a chance that you can join today, a day early before it goes out to everyone else. Okay, so if this speaks to you, I encourage you to join right away so you do not miss out and risk your spouse moving further towards divorce. Sound good? All right, let's go into the Gold Path program here so you guys can see what it's all about and be able to make the best decision for you and your marriage. I love this slide. That's so cool. All right. So what are we talking about here? How do we take all of these things, stop making those mistakes we talked about, and actually do what works? So our Gold Path marriage coaching program, like I said, 12 spots, several hundred people are going to see the masterclass this week. This is our proven path process that helps your spouse change their story about you so they actually want to be with you. You're no longer pushing them. They're actually feeling pulled to come back to you naturally. And we guide you step by step on how to do that so you save your marriage in less than 6 months without getting your heart hurt. It's all the steps we talked about to go from where you are to where you want to be in your marriage. It's helping you make all those course corrections that you just might not be able to see right now so that you get to the result that you want to get to, okay? All right, so the Gold Path Marriage Coaching Program is $4,200 for 4 months. As a bonus, for those who sign up today, we'll have access to these bonuses I'm about to tell you, and they're never for sale anywhere or available anywhere else other than right now in the masterclass through this program. If you go to our website, you won't find them, okay? If you go to our YouTube channel, you won't find them. You go to Thriving Marriage Facebook group, you won't find it. This is the only way to have these because you guys are the action takers and I want to reward that. So stick with me, listen to what they are. Yeah, Linda says, hang on to your hats. All right, because this is pretty exciting. So we've got our fast track one-on-one coaching to save your marriage in less than 180 days. So not only do you get the path process, is the proven process that Cynthia said in her video here just a little bit ago, but it's 4 one-hour one-on-one coaching sessions a month with a marriage expert, a coach here, and it gets you 10 times faster results than those that try to go it alone. And that's worth $4,800 alone because we charge $300 per session. I know we have some clients here today. I think Chris, you're talking about, you're already in the program and it's $300 a session. Why? Because it works, this method works. And this is for those who've struggled to stick with things in the past. Maybe your spouse is checked out, unwilling to work with you, or you're just unsure if it's going to work for you. So we take all the guesswork out of it. So you literally just do what we tell you to do. And you have absolute confidence in yourself because it's going to work. You just do exactly what we tell you to do. You get feedback from your coach on how you're doing with the path process, and they give you clarity and direction on how to make those course corrections we talked about, right? Those little course corrections, sometimes the big course corrections, how to stop pushing your spouse further away, how to open up communication. I saw some questions about that over in the chat. How to have them actually want to spend time with you so you can relax and know that everything's going to be okay. You'll see your spouse warm up to you. Imagine Christmas, right? New Year's, warm up to you, right? Start talking to you about important things and actually want to be around you and with you again. You feel safe and secure knowing that your marriage is now where you want to be, okay? All right, I'm actually going to skip that. We've got so many client testimonials. It's amazing. If you want to see more, go to our Thriving Marriage Facebook group or our YouTube channel. You can check them out. But yeah, for now, we're going to keep cruising along. So the next bonus here is our Restore Trust group coaching. This is a $1,600 massive value that I'm going to give you guys today, okay? So what is this? It's a 1-hour group coaching session that fits your schedule. You always get the answers you need when you need them. How does it fit your schedule? Like I mentioned, we are an international marriage coaching company. We do have clients in Australia. We have clients in the UK. We have clients in South Africa. We make sure that we have times available that work for you no matter what time zone you're in. East Coast, West Coast, Mountain Time, doesn't matter. Central, doesn't matter. We have times available that work for you. And in these group sessions, you get direction on how to apply the path process to where you are that week, right? How to respond to text messages, how to have a hard conversation, how to put in healthy boundaries if your spouse keeps breaking trust and you need to secure yourself, right? How to get to the next milestone with your spouse, okay? This is especially for those who feel that everything you've done in the past just hasn't worked. It's hard to forgive them or for them to forgive you. And you feel like, I just don't like getting stuck partway through something. If I'm going to do this, I need to know it's going to work, right? So you feel supported by the coaches and other students, and their success is going to encourage and inspire you. Yeah, Ash says it's nearly 1:30 a.m. here. You must be over in Australia or New Zealand, something like that. That is some dedication, Ash. Awesome. I love that. So we definitely have time zones that will work for you. That's beautiful. So these students are going to say, oh my goodness, Ash and Cindy and we've got Jeff and Chris and Dave and Sullivan and Carrie and Tim and Chad. I was where you are. I was where you are a few weeks ago or a few months ago. Keep going. It's going to work. Keep trusting the process and it will work for you, which is going to be so encouraging and helpful to have that perspective from people who have already gone through where you are just recently, right? It's a powerful community. It builds connection where you receive additional support and you get help at lightning speed, okay? Our students that attend even one group session a month, they see their spouse warming up to them faster than those that try to go it alone. And they gain insights that help them have a healthier marriage long-term. And eventually you will be one of the senior students and you will be able to support the new students and say, I was where you are. Keep going. It's gonna work. Here's some things that helped me. And that's a beautiful way to kind of pay it forward like Alex did here as well. He says, for the first time in a long time, I feel it may work out and we may be a family again. She wants to move back in and start reconciling, which is awesome. All right, third bonus. And then I'm gonna get to the Halloween bonus. I've never done this before, guys. It's gonna be super cool. All right, it's best yet to come. Rocket reconnection training for 2 times faster in less than 30 minutes. That's a $588 value. What is this? What Mark and I've done, we've been doing this a long time. Over 100,000 hours of training distilled down into 3 30-minute power-packed videos that give you the best and fastest methods to reconnect with your spouse. And plus, you can target a specific issue that you have with your spouse, such as, I know a lot of you said affairs, how to end an affair in 3 weeks or less, how to open up any conversation, how to forgive, heal past pain, how to deal with addictions, alcoholism, narcissism, midlife crisis, mental health challenge. If you're dealing with one of those issues, you can go right there and get the result that you need right away. Within a click of a button, you'll have the answer you need without having to sift through hours of training videos, so you get the solutions you need easily and immediately. It gives you peace of mind, clarity, and direction on how to handle surprising issues that may come up with your spouse, right? They're gonna come up. There's gonna be surprises, I can guarantee you that, right? And help resolve those quickly so you can keep moving forward to have the happy relationship you want. Here's an interesting stat, because we have so much data now that we have some statistics that we can stand by. 95% of our students report 2 times faster results with this unique training alone, and we're only offering it through this program, okay? Awesome, that's a great win. We're gonna cruise on by it. Now, super excited. All right, so in addition to those 3 bonuses we talked about, here's our spooktacular Halloween bonus for this special Halloween edition of our PATH program here. We have 4 tickets left to our $1,300 Save My Marriage by Christmas virtual summit. And this, we've already sold some of these. And so we have 4 tickets left and we're gonna give them to you. Other people have already paid $1,300 for this. So 4 spots left, our gift to you, $1,300 value to this summit. It helps you if you need that secret weapon to accelerate your results at lightning speed. In the virtual summit, we'll go over things like how to craft an apology letter to win their heart back in 30 minutes or less, $300 value. Communication CPR, 30 minutes to restarting communication with a resentful spouse, $300 value as well. End an affair in 3 weeks or less, $700 value, okay? So this power-packed virtual summit is something we've never done before, and it's for you guys to help ensure that you guys are getting great results by Christmas, okay? It gives you exclusive access to our most effective techniques to get your spouse back fast. And like I said, we've never done this before. It's not available anywhere else, and no one else is even talking about this. So truly, guys, issues that maybe took weeks or months or sometimes even years to resolve, we're gonna help you overcome them in just a couple of hours. That's what happens when you have the right method and the right support. We do this every single day. We deal with divorce and affairs and all these things every single day. So we know how to help you. As well, we also have 3 tickets left to our $3,000 2-day unified marriage virtual event, which we do throughout the year. And that helps couples that are fully reconciled get to the next level of intimacy, connection, and happiness. So future pace this with me, guys. When you and your spouse are both committed to working on the marriage with you, like they're with you, you're with them. This helps you get to even the next level in your relationship and ensure that that marriage stays strong long-term. So this is what happens when you're already committed. and we're going to give that to you guys. And it's valid for 12 months. So you'll have the opportunity to use them just as soon as you and your spouse are reconciled. You're already reconciled. And now you get to do this to deepen that commitment even more and deepen that passion, that connection, and the romance. All right. That's a $3,000 virtual summit for those that are committed to their spouses. So when you guys are there, I'm super excited to work with you on that. All right. So in summary, for today, joining, you get the Gold Path Marriage Coaching Program for $4,200, plus these bonuses never for sale, available anywhere else other than through this program. The one-on-one coaching, $4,800 value for free. Marriage healing group coaching, $1,600. Rocket reconnection training, $588 value. And then that Spooktacular Halloween bonus, that Save My Marriage by Christmas virtual summit, $1,300 ticket to that event for free. And for the first 3 who join, the $3,000 ticket valued at, the ticket valued at $3,000 to our 2-day Unified Marriage virtual event. Awesome. All right, that is it. Woo! Okay, I deserve a high five for getting through all that. All right, that's a $15,488 value. And again, it's only $4,200 for the next 24 hours only. So if this speaks to you, I encourage you to go and check it out. So I'm going to put the link here that you guys can join. Yep, thank you. Over at highthrivelive.com spooktacular offer, highthrivelive.com/spooktacular offer. So I'm going to go with you guys over to that same page so you can see exactly what I am seeing. And you guys will see that we have doors actually opening tomorrow, but you guys have a chance to join today before it goes out to the rest of our audience of about 65,000 email subscribers. All right. So that's super cool. So I'm going to ask Linda to unmute herself here in a minute. I know she's been helping me in the chat. If you guys have any questions, please let us know because we're here to help you. You guys choose the destination you want to get to and we help you get there. All right. So on this page, you guys are going to see everything I just talked about. You're going to see all those spectacular Halloween bonuses, the 4 tickets that are left to our $1,300 Save My Marriage by Christmas virtual summit that we talked about, crafting the apology letter, the communication CPR, ending an affair in 3 weeks. I love this image. That's so funny. And everything here. So it's $4,200 or $1,050 for 4 months. So you can do a payment plan if that works better for you. And then you'll get all those bonuses that we just talked about. So please let us know any questions that you have. I know someone was asking about time zones, so we'll definitely make sure that we accommodate you, especially for those over in Australia. It's 1 a.m. right now, and make sure that that will work for you. So Linda, if you want to go ahead and unmute yourself, I know you've been watching the chat for me, which is awesome. And let us know any questions that you guys have so that we can address those right away. And oh, that's awesome. All right, cool. We got some people talking about joining. I'm just catching up on the chat right now. How do I join? Awesome. So we've got the link there. Linda's been talking to you, Dave. Sweet. Awesome. Very, very cool. All right, Linda, do you want to go ahead and unmute yourself? Yep.
Oh, I am unmuted, Heather.
All right.
So for those of you who haven't been in coaching before, both Heather and I talk for a living. So when we're on these live master classes, sometimes we do get tongue-tied, and it's just part of having to talk for a living and to keep our mouths up with our brains, because we've been talking all the time. But I want to talk about just like I thought I was blown away last week by the offers, but like I'm just like, I can't believe this. This is just huge, and I have to make it bigger for myself so I can see everything, because I do want to kind of weigh in on everything that you're offering, if that's okay.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay. So
thank you so much for helping with that. That's awesome.
Okay. Awesome. So the one-on-one coaching sessions, that is such an incredible value. I don't know if anybody's ever been through traditional therapy or through coaching, but in our session, that is like jam-packed. You talk about what the issues are, and then you get that serious coaching that happens where your coach says, okay, so maybe you could have said it this way. Maybe if you try saying it this way, here, we need to hit this head on. And I tell all my clients, you better show up with a notebook, because I get those things that drop into my head, like Heather did when she said, tension, help me, Heather, tension does not lead to romance. Love that. That stuff just like drops into a coach's head. So bring a notebook to your coaching sessions. So an hour, it's just, it brings you so far, so fast and so clear because our coaches are so trained to just like hone through all of the talk and see what the issues are. And here's the plan. It's like a treatment plan. I want you to do this, this, and this. I want you to read this, this, and this. And we work really hard so that you can get a faster result. So that hour truly is a gold standard. The marriage healing group coaching, everybody knows how I feel about group coaching. I think it's so impactful. It's powerful. They're held at different times and you get to hear what goes on in other people's marriages, and you get to get coaching, more time with your coach, which is a bonus because you get time with your coach in your sessions, time with your coach in group coaching, and time with your coach in email coaching. So we're in your life, we're in your marriage, we are behind you, we make this happen. So you get your group coaching, and then the Rocket Reconnection training, that just makes it even faster. I mean, look, you're going to marriage college. That's what this is. This is like the fast track master's program in college. And you're going to work hard for it. And if your marriage is important, then you're going to put the work in. You know, we put our focus on what's truly important to us. So if you want to save your marriage, you're going to put everything that you have into it. And that's why all of this that is offered, I think somebody else was just getting ready to sign up. Okay. And
congratulations.
Yes, the Unified Marriage virtual event. I don't know, Heather, can I get a ticket for that? Because I want to go. I want to go to that. I want to keep
filling up fast.
Because I use High Thrive to keep my marriage unified. And every day I walk by my husband and I have to make a decision. Do I want to say something critical because I'm really busy and he's retired? So you can imagine that dynamic. And so do I want to say something about, this needs to be done? Or do I want to walk by and say, oh, you look handsome today? So I have to make a decision 100 times during the day about what kind of wife I want to be. And so I have to keep what I've learned at High Thrive to have the healthiest, happiest marriage. And I don't think I've ever seen my husband happier, quite frankly. And I don't think I've ever been happier in my marriage. And this isn't my first marriage, okay? It's not my first marriage. I know divorce. It's not a good time. Happy marriage is where it's at. Happy wife, happy life. I firmly believe in that. So then down to the marriage summit. I want to go to that one too, a virtual summit. And then the apology letter. So look, the apology letter is so important because it might be the only chance you get to give the right apology that is going to awaken them into conversations about what's gone wrong. We have to start looking at things. This is my part. I know this is my part. I'm fixing my part. I see how it impacted you. And I am so deeply sorry how the things that I have done have impacted you. And, some people don't know how to apologize. That's a basic life skill. And your coach can assess whether your apology hits all those key points, because we get those key points in the marriage analysis. When we do the root analysis of what's going on in the marriage, I'm already formulating, okay, this is what's going to have to be in the apology letter. So this apology letter is really important. So you really need to work closely with your coach on this. And we email back and forth and we're like, okay, we'll take out this one word. This one word sounds really demanding and negative. Try this word. And then so we email back and forth until you have the greatest apology letter ever. And hopefully we'll bring about tears of relief. We want there to be tears of relief from your apology letter that, oh my God, I think we're getting somewhere. Your spouse thinks that you're getting somewhere with you, and you're getting somewhere with them. And the when you do the apology letter, also you're recognizing some of your character flaws. And it's really important to forgive yourself as well, because that's just as important. We don't want you going into this with all this toxic shame stuff going on. So part of apologizing to your spouse is the apology that you're giving to yourself as well. So that's how you acknowledge your issues, by forgiving yourself for your issues and doing it differently. Most spouses fight about the things that you bring up over and over and over again, but they don't get resolved. So we focus on the solutions, not on the problems. So we help you with your apology letter and communication CPR. This is like coaching 101. It's we just keep you just pushing down on their heart so that you are constantly putting positive stuff in there, as opposed to come back to me, don't leave me. We want to do the kind of CPR that presses on their heart and says, you know what, you're an amazing mother. You know what, I really value you as a father. That's the kind of pressure that you want to put on. Just the reaching out in a positive way, changing the narrative of how they see us. And that is what CPR is bringing it back to life, making the heart pump for you again. Don't you want to have your heart go like when you first met your spouse and you got the butterflies and your heart's all aflutter and you can't wait to see your spouse and they can't wait to see you? That's your heart alive again. And it's going to be you that brings it back to life. And then the end an affair in 3 weeks or less. Let me tell you, we can certainly outsmart an affair. We can definitely put you to work on that. We understand limerence. We'll teach you about limerence so you can understand what's going on in the spouse who's having an affair. So this is just like an amazing value. Yeah, I love my husband so much that if he was going to leave me, I would take every penny I had and I would spend it on saving my marriage. I just every penny. Like I've got jewelry, I'd sell all my jewelry. You know, we've already cut the cord on cable and all that stuff, but I would do whatever it takes. I love him that much. And I know I have things to work on. So if it costs money for me to work on things, I'm going to spend it. I'm going to get that marriage back. And anybody who has any questions, I have left my phone number. Heather, was there anything that's come up in the chat?
Just one other question that I saw earlier that I wanted to visit on real quick. Oh, and Lou says that the apology letter really blew things wide open for them, which is awesome.
Excellent, Lou.
And Terry, I understand, like, I get that. Like there are challenges with finances. There's challenges with all different kinds of things. And so if there's a lesser program that's not this one, this is the one that we're offering right now. But we may be able to work with you on your budget for a lesser program. So I'd encourage you to leave your name and your phone number, and we can see what we can do that works good for you and your budget, and see if there's an option that is a win-win there. And so it's not going to be what we're talking about right now, but there might be something that could still work, that would be, working with where you're at right now. So let us know if you feel like, yeah, this budget is an issue. Even if I gave up everything, if I sold everything, that might not be enough for this. Okay, I hear you. So leave your name and your phone number and we'll reach out to you, and we can talk and see what we can do that might fit your budget there. But we've already had a couple people join. So I think we only have like 1 or 2 spots left for the Halloween Save My Marriage by Christmas virtual summit. So super excited to have you guys in there. Super excited to work with you in the virtual summit. It's going to be so powerful and so incredible to see that you're not signing divorce papers over the holidays, but you're actually back together again. And the affairs have ended and you guys are back working on things together, which is a huge, huge blessing and a huge opportunity. So super excited for you guys. But the question that I saw was, even if I do this, how can I justify the expense if we still end up getting divorced? And that's a question that I get often. And so you're not alone if you're thinking that. And I just want to answer it really openly and really honestly, because we're here to give it to you totally straight. The bottom line is that more often than not, we are able to save most marriages. More often than not, there's a few times when it doesn't work. Okay. And so the few times it doesn't work, I want you guys to really like, I'm going to be honest about that. Of course, like sometimes it doesn't work for whatever reason. You could do everything right. And there's a very rare times when the other person just says, yeah, I still want a divorce, and they go through with that. But the difference is in where that person is that went through the program versus those that don't. Okay. So you really need to determine, is it worth it in enough for myself to do this? Is it worth it for myself to learn some skills that I haven't learned up until now? Is it worth it in and of itself to look at the patterns and the healing and the internal stuff that needs to go on inside myself? Because more often than not, we all have different limiting beliefs and different subconscious patterns that are causing the same painful things to show up in our relationships. And if we don't heal those things, if we don't even recognize that they're there and then heal them, then they continue to show up time and time again. And yeah, this relationship might not work, but then you're going to go into another relationship and you're going to realize that the same pattern has repeated itself. They're going to cheat on you again. You're going to cheat on them again. You're going to be heartbroken again. They're going to break their promises again. You're going to feel like no one loves me. I'm not good enough. Those patterns will repeat themselves until you choose some new patterns. And what happens is that those patterns are like hardwired in our subconscious brain. And what we do, actually, like my favorite part of this whole program, is actually working with you on that mindset, on those subconscious patterns, because they're like hardwired programs there, and they'll continue to be the dominant thing that shows up in your life and shows up in how you see the world and what you experience in this life. And if you don't like what you're currently experiencing, then you need to change those patterns. And we go in and help you change those subconscious patterns so they're not ruling you anymore. You're not just continually going down the same path and running your head into the same brick wall. I know, I've been there. That's why I'm so passionate and why I was driven to do this at all 8 years ago. I realized that my internal beliefs, like I wasn't good enough, I work really, really hard and people always leave me. I try really, really hard, but I end up hurting people and they will leave. That was my internal belief and my internal pattern. And it was wreaking havoc on my marriage. And it wasn't until I learned how to shift that internal pattern to the truth of who I am, which is the truth of who we all are, that I am good enough. You are good enough. You are worthy. You are deserving. You are capable. You are a piece of the divine. And that's the truth. And when you live your life from that truth, and that is the perspective that you see the world, everything outside you will change as well, including your relationships, most importantly, your relationship with yourself and with your spouse. And if it's not with this relationship, it will go into the next relationship. And so, like, I'm bringing to mind again, another favorite client. I'll change his name to Tim. And so Tim, because not all clients like to share publicly. Like, you saw a lot of videos, you saw a lot of screenshots. Most of our clients don't actually share their experience, and that's fine. It's totally cool. But we'll change his name to Tim. Tim worked really, really hard on, he was feeling really controlling with his wife. He felt like he had no control in his life. Again, like Jenny says here, a really toxic relationship. And his wife was like, I'm sick of you controlling me. And she felt like she needed to go have an affair, in fact, multiple affairs, and kind of moved into some sex addiction, moved across the country, was doing all kinds of like really radical, unhealthy behaviors. And he came to us saying, hey, I realize I've been really controlling. I have so much fear in me. I don't know how not to try to control people. I control my employees. I try to control my kids. I try to control my wife. And she says she can't take it anymore. I've got to learn to do something different, but I have no idea how. And so we worked with him on where that feeling of I need to control things, like what was that fear really about? And it was that fear of I'm not good enough. And so if I'm not good enough, then I got to try to control people so that I feel safe. And so when we helped him let that go, he says in his own words, I am a rock. I am a rock in a storm and I cannot be moved. No matter what happens outside of me, I know I'm okay. And that is the kind of powerful shift that we help our clients get to, because we can't always control everything outside of us. And if you're looking for external things to change, if you're looking for other people to change so that you can feel better, you are always going to be miserable. And so you have the opportunity right now to shift that, to step out of that role and say, I am the creator of my life. I'm not going to look to external things anymore. In fact, I don't care what kind of things my spouse is going to do. I know that I'm okay no matter what. And that is a powerful place to be. That's an empowering place to be. You're taking your personal power back and you're saying, this is my life. This is who I am. This is who I want to be. And this is the result that I want to see in my life. This is the relationship I want to experience. And when you shift to that kind of a place, you're like a rock in a storm and you cannot be moved. You find so much internal strength and internal calm. And to me, that is worth everything because there is so much stuff that we cannot control in this life. So you guys choose who you want to be, where you want to go. We will help you learn those skills, help you shift those subconscious patterns and really uncover the truth of who you are so you can live from that kind of a place. And when you do that, it's worth everything. And the results that you want to see in your life and you want to see in your relationship, they'll come to you naturally because it's who you are. All right, I went really deep on that one with you guys, but that's awesome. And I can tell that you guys deserve it. All right, so Melissa's talking about budget. Awesome. Ash asks, and Linda, did you want to take this one? Can the apology still have effect if you've tried apologizing before? Ooh, I think that's a really good one, Ash. Thanks for asking. Linda, do you want to answer that one?
Absolutely. Some people do make that mistake when they realize that the marriage is failing. They just do like this word salad sort of apology where they apologize for everything. And you really it has to be crafted, like you're writing your first book. You know what that's like, right, Heather? So it's got to be that important and it has to be crafted to have the maximum impact. So yes, if you have apologized before with your coach, you're going to talk about what that apology looked like, sounded like, how it was received. And then you're going to do an entirely different type of apology, one that hits the points that you need to hit. Now, some people don't. They just have apologized so much, they don't even know what they're apologizing about anymore. And then the spouse doesn't hear the apologies. So we work through those issues with you. Is your spouse ready? Now, some of my clients, I don't let them apologize right out of the gate.
Right.
Okay, because they're not ready, because they don't have the language skills. They don't have the insight yet. So as your coaches, we decide, okay, I think it's time for that apology letter. Let's work on that. And it could be 3 weeks out. It could be 4 weeks out, but we want to make sure that you're ready because after you deliver that apology, you have to have the skills to accept if something doesn't come back to you, what does come back to you, if it does. So there's a lot involved in a simple apology letter. It's way more complicated than you think. So we'll do a total of assessment with your coach one-on-one of what your apology looked like when you tried to give it previously. And we're going to do a different one because obviously that one didn't work. So we're going to give you the one that does work. And just so everybody knows, while Heather was just coaching the heck out of us, and I just was loving that, I went and put my fairy godmother costume on, and I'm ready to make some deals.
That's awesome. And you are so welcome, Carrie and Tim, and awesome. You're welcome. All right, Bradley, you said you need to hear that every day. Awesome. All right, I'm going to answer another question here. This one says, from Jenny, what if my relationship is too toxic to try and save? All right, so first thing, Jenny, that I'm going to say, and Linda, if you want to add on to this, you're an amazing coach as well. So we're going to get both perspectives here. But with the path process, what we look at is we do that deep root assessment. And almost every single relationship that comes to us is going to have toxicity. That's why you're here. Okay. And one of the things that we will do is see what level of health is there in the relationship, what level of toxicity is there in the relationship, and then what is needed to go forward. Now, there are some situations that we will tell you, this is not one that can be or should be saved. And that would be cases of sexual or physical abuse. Okay. Emotional abuse is one that is a little bit of a gray area because kind of everyone says it's an emotional abuse because we're all kind of mean and nasty to each other when our relationship is struggling. So that one's a little bit of a gray area, but there are some cases of true emotional abuse. Same with narcissism. There are some cases of actual true narcissism. Okay. But almost everyone says, oh, my spouse is a narcissist, but you actually don't even know what that really means. Anyway, that's a side topic. So we will go in with you and see, is this too toxic or not? And that's the challenge with a self-diagnosis. When you're self-diagnosing things, It's like you're inside the bottle. You can't read the label. That's why you need an expert that does this every single day, that knows how to read the label and will tell you exactly what's going on inside the relationship and what the next best steps are. Another thing that we will do in the assessment as well is assess the levels of communication. I just want to put this one out there as well, because I saw a question about that. If you aren't communicating, for the past several months, you haven't even seen each other, if you haven't talked to each other for over a year, if you've never seen them for over a year, then that is a relationship that most likely will not be saved, because we need to have at least 1 or 2 times of communication per month. That can be a text, that can be phone, that can be email, but the bottom line is that we don't always know if there's hope for us. Just like when I was diagnosed with cancer, I didn't know how serious it was. I didn't know if there was hope for me. I didn't know any of that. In fact, I had doctors tell me there's a 95% chance I wouldn't survive. But I chose to look at things a different way. I can't just diagnose myself and think that I'm going to have all the answers, right? I went to the top expert in the world for breast cancer, young women. I was pregnant at the time, and I went to her, and she's like, I know that for you, this feels like the end of the world. But for me, it's just another Tuesday. I was like, whoa, that's a really shocking thing to say. I felt a little bit like, oh, you have no idea how hard it really is. And then I thought about it. I was like, oh, that actually makes me feel really good, because to her, this is what she does all the time. And so this is what we do all the time. So to you, it may seem really toxic, but to us, we are going to be able to actually scientifically assess the relationship and see if there's hope, and see how exactly toxic it is, and see exactly what the next steps are to get you results as fast as humanly possible. That's what we do every single day, all day, in and out. It's the only thing we do. We focus only on helping save marriages from divorce. We're the ICU of marriages. So be careful of self-diagnoses. Be careful of thinking if there's no hope or not, because you just simply don't know. When you're in the bottle, you can't read the label. So that's why we're here, to help you read the label. Anything you want to add to that, Linda?
No, I think that you hit a lot on it. I think it's important not only to not diagnose ourselves, but not to diagnose our spouses.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing that's out there is like, everybody's a narcissist. And that is a very rare diagnosis. And that is only to come from a psychiatrist. And there's levels of narcissism. And I just think that we really can get trapped into, hurling that back and forth. You're a narcissist. No, you're a narcissist. Everybody has narcissistic traits, and sometimes being selfish can be mistaken for being a narcissist. So, it's like one of those like new phrases that drive me crazy, along with, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. It's like, so it is really important not to hurl diagnoses at each other. Unless you're both psychiatrists, then okay, go ahead and do that. But that's rarely the case that we have 2 psychiatrists. So when something is toxic, it's something that causes such deep soul pain. You have to make the assessment whether that pain is so great that you don't think that you're going to be able to get over it. Is there something inside of you that you've been living with some toxic shame your whole life? And your coach will be able to uncover the difference between if you've been living with toxic shame your whole life due to whatever, trauma. A lot of things lead to toxic shame, but I do think it's something that you do have to talk to your coach about to assess that level of toxicity. If there is toxicity, or just somebody's selfish or unskilled. Some people don't have the same skill set as other people, and leave it up to your coach to figure out what's going on before you go tagging a name on it.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. All right. And we've got a question here from Jenny. Is there a way to talk to you? Is there a way for you to talk to us before we sign up? We don't want to waste our time and money. Like we said, this is not like a cookie cutter approach. And sometimes it's really good to talk to us. And so, yes, please leave your name and your phone number with the country code, since there's a couple different countries here. We don't want to not know what country you're coming from and then not be able to get a hold of you. So leave your name and your number here with the country code, so then we can reach out to you and have a conversation about that. With that being said, though, we are filling up spots really fast. We had several people join already, right here, right now in the masterclass. If you're watching the replay, I'm sorry, but the virtual summit is probably going to be completely gone by then. The $1,300 ticket to the virtual summit to Save Your Marriage by Christmas. And once they're gone, they're just gone, because Mark and I are only going to be working with a very small number of people on that. So yeah, so with that being said, you can leave your name and number here and we'll reach out to you, but we cannot guarantee that there will be spots open for the virtual summit bonus. Okay. All right. Awesome. Any other questions there? Good. Any other questions that you guys have? All right, Melissa got that. Thank you. Jenny got your number as well. Thank you. Yeah, it's been extremely helpful. Okay. My marriage means everything. Yep. Make sure that we got the financial stuff taken care of there, Chad, with your family. That is important. We don't want to put anyone into, not being able to take care of your family, but it is what works for you and where you really want to go. We've had people that go open a PayPal credit card. We've had people that sell an asset or sell a car. I mean, amazing stuff. But when you put in the focus on what you really want, then the way will show up. Sometimes they borrow money from family or from grandma. They're like, this is too important to me. I cannot afford $30,000 of divorce, first of all, and I cannot afford 2 households. I cannot afford child support. Well, I just had some friends get divorced a year ago, and now she's suing him for more child support, taking him back to court. It's a mess. Spooky stuff. No, let's not have any more spooky stuff. Let's move towards where we really want to be and make some empowering choices. Let's find out what we really want to experience in our life, and the rest will show up for you. I can guarantee you that. It is absolutely amazing how it happens. Jenny, you are so welcome. All right, Drew, gotcha. Chad, gotcha. Awesome. Yeah, we can definitely talk about what works for you guys. All right, did I miss any questions? Did you guys have one that I maybe didn't see? Yep, we answered Bradley's over there in the chat. Thank you, Linda, for getting to that. All right, awesome. Linda, did you have anything else that you saw that I didn't see?
Well, it's funny because I've been over on my phone because people have been texting me. So we've gotten a lot of responses and people are talking about their marriages. I am reaching out to everybody today, tonight, tomorrow, until I reach you, and we're going to talk about your marriage. And I'm going to be honest with you. If I don't think there's hope, I will tell you. Okay, because we're honest and we have integrity. And if I think something I just don't think that there's going to be a workaround or there's going to be a way to address, I will tell you, we will not take your money if I don't think there's any hope. But I do want to talk to everybody because I put in notes. And so we already know a lot about your marriage before you even start. So you're 3 steps ahead before you start. So that's the best way to do it. So I'm reaching out to all of you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Linda. Thank you all for coming. This has been super fun. I hope that you all have a fabulous Halloween and a safe Halloween. And I cannot wait to see your marriage happy and thriving and healed and whole by Christmas. That's what we're here to help you do. So remember, my friends, that life is really short. You decide where you want to go and we'll help you get there. So let's make the most of the precious time that we have now. Look forward to talking to you guys all again soon. And thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Heather.